Welcome to It's Your Money. I'm Kirsten Joyce. We'll be talking today about changes to college student loans and online scams you need to be aware of. But first, 1 out of 6 Nevadans uses SNAP benefits to help with food expenses. SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for low-income families. And we're going to take a look now at where you can go to get even further savings.
I grew up on SNAP, and I've never forgotten just how valuable this resource was to help my mom put food on the table.
And today, Nancy Dalton leads a team that develops products for low-income consumers across the country, creating a full-circle moment for her.
I know that this experience shaped me as an individual. And like my story, budgets really do change and evolve over time.
Amazon Access, the team under Dalton's leadership, helping people find cheaper groceries through Amazon.com, Amazon Fresh, and Whole Foods Market, making it easier for low-income families to find what they need no matter where they live. A pilot program to use SNAP benefits to purchase groceries online is now countrywide. 22 million households across the country use SNAP to help with food expenses. 500,000 Nevadans rely on that support each month. Now, the products are listed online with SNAP-eligible labels, so there's no guesswork. There is also an Amazon Access Discounts program. Those who qualify for government assistance can access these benefits for even greater savings. A new Costco now open in the Southwest Valley on Buffalo near the 215. This marks the 6th Costco location across our valley. And speaking of Costco, the wholesale giant has extended shopping hours for executive level members. They've been able to enjoy starting at 9 a.m. exclusively instead of 10. Costco warehouses also remain open an extra hour on Saturdays for all members. Looking for a job can be stressful, but there are things you can do to make sure you're approaching the process as best you can. LinkedIn career experts sharing the major mistakes job seekers often make, like not tapping into your network of contacts, not using AI tools to help with things like cover letters. Here's what one suggests you do if an interview you go to, you don't have a particular skill.
What you want to talk about are transferable skills. So this is a gap that I may have. You may see this as a gap. Here's why I don't think it's a gap, because of everything I've done in these past roles, et cetera. You want to be able to demonstrate a growth mindset. What I mean here is, what have you done to learn something new? You could use as an example, listen, I didn't know how to do this thing in my last job, and this is how I learned how to do it.
For new college grads, Fisher says manage your expectations. Don't focus on finding the perfect job, because you certainly won't at this point in life. And don't apologize for what you don't know, and don't downplay your prior experience.
You've just touched on one of the biggest myths in credit reporting.
Good credit scores are crucial, we know, to getting good rates on loans, insurance, even mortgages. But can your current or new boss see your credit report? What your employers can and can't access, and advice on how to boost your score. Your credit history isn't about just getting and keeping good credit. It's about every financial relationship you have in life. It'll play a part in renting an apartment, buying a car, a home, setting up utility services, even applying for a job.
They want to know you are who you say you are.
Rod Griffin with experience says one of the biggest myths in credit reporting is that employers have access to your credit score. They don't. But they can have access to a limited version of your credit report during the hiring process to verify your identity. And
the other reason that we see employers use credit reports is in roles that involve managing the company's money in some way. So they're going to look at your credit history to help them determine the risk or potential risk of you misusing the company's money.
So let's back up a moment and start from the beginning. It is key to establish credit early and build good credit. For college grads, you likely have a credit account in your name, often with a student or a car loan. Once you've established it, continue to make those payments on time every time. If you need help establishing credit, Griffin says Experian Go is a free tool you can use, a program that helps people who are credit invisible create their own credit report and start building their credit history in minutes. For those who need to improve their credit, Experian Boost, another free service, lets people who already have a credit file add eligible bill payments to boost their credit score.
It may be very helpful for you starting out, if you have very little credit in your name, to use a service like Experian Boost that enables you to report your positive cell phone payments, for example, your utility payments, your rent payments potentially if you're working with one of the 1,500 or so property management companies that we work with. Even things like Netflix.
Griffin says it's crucial to establish credit early so it's there to work for you. He says you can sign up for free, and it even helps you create healthy credit habits. And don't forget, make sure you get your free credit report every year from the top 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, where you should go over them with a fine-tooth comb, keeping an eye out for any mistakes or anything suspicious to report. The Nevada Bankers Association sharing practical tips to help all Nevadans build better savings tips. And some of them include the following. Pay yourself first. If you want to see what's left over, you're less likely to save, so give yourself that first 5 to 10% and then take care of all the other stuff. Determine your needs versus wants. Do you need to eat out for lunch or grab that coffee every day? Likely not, so you do need to determine those. Pay your bills on time, pay more than the minimum amount. Setting up automatic payments also will ensure you never have to face any late fees. The Trump administration imposing new policies on student loans. Some repayment options are being phased out with limits going into effect. Here are the changes students and parents should take note on. With the average borrower taking 20 years to pay off student debt, a major overhaul to the student loan system will mean changes for both current and future borrowers, and even bigger ones for those just starting out.
Students have to really be thoughtful now. They really need to think about, how much do I want to borrow? How much will this impact me?
Jennifer Finetti of Scholarship Owl says the president's bill overhauls the federal student loan system by reducing the number of repayment plan options to 2 from 7. Beginning July 1st next year, new student loan borrowers will choose between one of 2 plans, a standard repayment plan or an income-driven repayment plan. The standard repayment plan lets student loan borrowers make fixed payments over the course of 10 to 25 years. The overhaul also caps the amount individuals can borrow for higher education.
If they're thinking of going to grad school, you want to minimize the amount of student loans you're taking out for your undergrad because there is going to be a cap on what you can take out in your lifetime as well as an undergrad and as a graduate school student.
Grad students will have an annual limit of nearly $20,000, while professional students can borrow up to $50,000 a year. There will also be caps on how much parents can assist.
Parents who were helping their kids pay for college could take out however much they needed in Parent Plus loans. Now that amount is going to be capped per student and per lifetime for the family.
Beginning July of next year, parents can borrow up to $20,000 per child through the Parent Plus loan with a limit of $65,000 per student total. Under the law, students who receive a full scholarship from a college or university will no longer be eligible for additional funding through the Pell Grant program. But by contrast, the law expands Pell Grant eligibility for students in workforce training. It allows students enrolling in workforce training programs like HVAC at community colleges to receive those Pell Grants to help cover their cost. That also begins July 1st of next year. Current borrowers can stay in their existing plans until July of 2028. Now, if you're thinking of consolidating your loans, experts suggest doing it before July 1st of next year. Well, as we all know, the cost of just about everything has gone up, especially for the price of housing. How are young people affording to be able to buy a home? A new study of millennial and Gen Z home buyers showing a quarter using money from their family for their down payment. The study from Redfin also highlights an additional 18% either live with parents or roommates to save money for the house, whereas nearly 60% began saving money from their paychecks early to fund housing. The future of digital defense takes center stage every year at this year's Black Hat Convention in DEF CON. The new age of cybersecurity threats we want to tell you all about.
We're moving into an era, I think, of more geopolitical pressure. I think there's adversaries, and the next areas of conflict aren't necessarily, I don't know, but I don't think they're necessarily likely to be a shooting war per se. I think economic espionage.
It's a form of corporate espionage, stealing confidential business information like proprietary technology or financial data to gain a competitive advantage. Robert Ackerman, managing director at Data Tribe, weighs in.
We have a company called Strider that sort of deals with that, looking at IP theft, which is estimated to be somewhere around $600 billion a year on average lost to the United States. So I think areas like that are areas to pay attention to.
His company develops technology to fight this growing threat, but he says it could take another 5 to 10 years before the benefits are fully realized across the board. This week in Las Vegas, collaborating with other experts at Black Hat, one of the world's leading cybersecurity conferences.
I think that's why it's important and why these gatherings are really important, to sort of look behind the curtain, look through the crystal ball and see what's next. Because in cybersecurity, not understanding what's next really has, ramifications financially and potentially to people's well-being.
And for individuals who don't run companies but still want to protect themselves, a good reminder, staying safe starts with the basics.
We get complacent, we get lazy, and there's a real fine line between convenience and privacy. And in general, people tend to err more on the side of convenience, and if privacy starts to intrude on their ability to watch videos, download things, they tend to put privacy to the side.
That means having a heightened sense of awareness, regularly changing your passwords, making sure all your home devices are properly secured, and being cautious about where and how you share your personal data.
AI feeds on data, and your data is going to be looked at, and I think how you think about controlling that, how you store it, is really, really important.
The next cybersecurity convention after Black Hat and DEF CON is InfoSec World in Florida, and the Women in Cybersecurity Conference happens in the spring in Maryland. Apple set to invest another $100 billion to expand its operations across the United States. The additional funding adds to a previous $500 billion the tech giant committed to growing its domestic footprint. The Trump administration has made a push for Apple and other tech companies to return or produce more of their products in the U.S. It's the administration's effort to have companies become less reliant on facilities mainly out of China, India, and Vietnam. Boosting your business, a company called Koala Coupons helping local companies with some free marketing help. Here's an inside look at how they're making it happen.
We're just trying to get people in.
Zachary Sabayas and his business partner Estella Hurtado opened appetizers on the corner of Rainbow and Oakey, a dream that began 3 years ago with a humble food truck. Now they blend her rich Mexican heritage with bold American traditions.
Everything's made in-house, the salsas, the prep, the meat's fresh, never frozen. We're the local business trying to make it.
With no money for a marketing budget, they seize the spotlight by signing up on Koala Coupons, a platform promoting hot deals. It was started by Sergio Linares.
I'm a field service technician. I drive throughout the whole valley when I'm on my lunch break and servicing machines.
He stumbled upon the struggling business and knew he couldn't just walk away.
The city, man, I've seen it grow so quickly. I love everybody here, very diverse city. If I can help, one restaurant, 100 restaurants that need the support, I'm here to help them.
So whether it's a 20% off, a $25 purchase, or a buy one, get one free, each business markets on Koala Coupons and decides what special or discount they want to offer.
Anyone can apply to promote themselves on the application. All they have to do is go to koalacoupons.com, create an account, and once they create an account, we on our end will verify that account, and they can start using the tool right away. And if they need help, they can reach out to us.
A diverse range of restaurants, including Thai, Italian, Mexican, Chinese, Filipino cuisine, plus auto repair services and premium health and beauty offerings.
They're not forgotten. There's a lot of small businesses out there. I know that they're going through the challenges, especially in this economy right now.
Sabayas says it's a win-win, affordable meals for budget-conscious customers and steady business to keep his doors open.
It started off a little slow, but then based on flyering and then word of mouth, we've picked up coming into summertime.
Currently, Koala Coupons is free to users and businesses. It says once it starts to grow, it then plans to introduce a two-tier version of the app, basic and then paid. Still to come here on It's Your Money, more inventory, less sales. What you need to know about our city's housing market at this stage. And easing vacation travel and planning, how you can use AI to help organize those trips. The City of Las Vegas allocating $500,000 to repairing leaky homes. This funding comes from the Las Vegas Valley Water District's excessive use charge. That's a fine that the Valley's highest water users pay. Now, to qualify for this new repair program, you must live in Las Vegas city limits, shown here on the map in blue. The parts, there's a cap on how much income you can make to be eligible, dependent on your house size. Homeowners who are chosen will get up to $7,500 toward repairs. Las Vegas, the fastest cooling U.S. housing market, according to Redfin. Home sales down about 10% year over year. Housing inventory is up nearly 50%. Now the largest gain among all metro areas. It currently takes about 51 days to sell a house in the valley, 15 days slower compared to about this time last year. The typical U.S. home takes about 40 days to sell. Upgrades to our airport. We'll share some changes you can expect to see the next time you catch a flight at Harry Reid Airport. We'll be right back. Passengers at Reid International Airport will be able to see how long that security line should take. It's a new pilot feature only inside Terminal 1. Screens around the airport display real-time estimates on waits at TSA. Clark County hopes it eases the guest experience, and if all goes well, those wait times will be shown throughout the airport and on the website. Well, we all know planning a vacation can sometimes be very overwhelming. More people using AI to help schedule those trips. Here's how the tech can make your plans more efficient.
We're finding that AI can really unlock new ways for people to get a jump start.
Google technology and trends expert Craig Ewer says the top searches on Google right now are for kids' passports and romantic getaways. Under Google Flights, the Caribbean is trending, and specific to our state,
or Nevada in particular, Italy is the top trending international destination.
Google has new features powered by AI. It can create a sample itinerary.
You can actually just type in something like create an itinerary for Costa Rica that's 4 days long and has a lot of nature. And what you'll get is these day-by-day suggestions that include restaurant options, sightseeing, tours.
It also provides reviews, photos, helpful links to read more on your favorite travel bloggers. The other AI tool is Gemini. That's Google's personal AI assistant. You can use it, say, for packing. Ewer recently went to California and was headed to both LA and the desert.
I plugged in, I said, I'm going to these places for this date range. And it went ahead and looked at all the historical data on what weather has been. And then it said, okay, you're going to need light coat, you're going to need a heavy coat, you're going to need shorts.
While traveling, you can use Google Maps, specifically the feature Ask Maps.
You open a particular place right on Google Maps, like a restaurant. You can scroll down and actually type a detailed question, like, do they have a dress code at this place? Do they have good vegan options? Is it kid friendly? And it's going to look at the reviews and other sources to really just give you that answer right there.
And you can also use Google Lens to translate foreign languages, useful for conversation, of course, and getting around abroad. Still to come on It's Your Money, billions of dollars lost in a WhatsApp scam, how Facebook's parent company is stepping up its security to protect users. The tech giant Meta says it has shut down nearly 7 million WhatsApp accounts linked to scammers just in the first half of this year. The company promising new steps to keep users safe. Jolene Kent has more on this.
WhatsApp says its messages are encrypted. So Meta said they didn't read any messages in this case sent by scammers on the platform, but the company did detect scammy behavior that resulted in this ban. The accounts were linked to criminal rings across Southeast Asia. The tech giant says those criminal groups often have multiple operations at one time, ranging from fake crypto investments to get-rich-quick pyramid schemes. The company said the red flags are scammers asking you to pay up front with the promise of returns or earnings. Meta and WhatsApp also say they worked with OpenAI to disrupt a scam that was traced to Cambodia. The scam used ChatGPT to generate text messages that contain malicious WhatsApp links meant to hook their victims, according to the company. Now, WhatsApp said these scams have resulted in people losing billions of dollars.
WhatsApp says it has launched new AI-powered safety features to work against these type of scams. Homemade Southern Nevada creating a new food pantry in an interesting way, renovating an empty classroom at a local school. It provides access to nutritious food and household supplies for students and families in need across the valley. Thank you so much for watching It's Your Money. You can stay up to date, of course, on all these stories on 8newsnow.com.